right, hey guys, Sam here with you on Thursday, October 18th. We're midday. And as it's a Thursday, we're going to look at traditional assets today. So I thought it was a reasonable time to do an update on gold here. So this is the trade. I think I did a video maybe 10 days ago where we set up this golden corner pocket. So I thought not a bad time to come back and revisit this. So here's the golden corner pocket, right? So swing low, swing high. What have I got here? This is a 60-minute. This is the XAU USD. So here's the corner pocket. So we're golden. We're right literally in the golden zone. You can see this. Now we have yet to make the median line, right? So we're not quite there. We wouldn't want to fail here. We want this to continue, right? Again, you don't know when. Look, so is it here? We're running out of time, right? So we have this time component. Looks to me like there's more likely one more push down here before we go up, which could put us up here. So let's just do a quick review here. So if this is, yeah, I'm kind of simplifying this. This is likely. This actually could be a WXYXYZ. There's a lot of complexity to this, but shit, we don't care. What do we care? It's ABC is what we've got down here. I'll leave that for the Elliott purists to dig through. There is an alternate count here, but what do we care? It's a correction. It's three-wave structure. We've got a pivot in the golden zone. Up we go. So remember, now there's always algos competing on the way back. We've already hit, so take note, we've already hit the algo target, right? That's right here, this green line here. We've already hit the algo target. Now we've pushed through. So this is where we can lean into it, the Elliott Wave fib relationships with regards to swing relationships to help us identify possible targets up here. So we're through the first algo target. Now we have a second one. Right, well, let's see. I don't want to confuse you here. So here's the dominant. Already hit that. Now we have second target up here, which certainly, is a valid target for us here. Now take note here. So let me wiggle this so you can see it. So that's not the one I want. Here, I may have to recreate it. Here it is. All right, so there we go. Okay, so if I take the length of the one wave, let me pull this to the side so you can see it a little better. So if I take the length of the proposed one wave here, ABC into our two, well, we need to get 100%. If this is so for a third relative here in white, we didn't quite get there on this, right? So which suggests that there's another leg in this that would get us up here for this 5. So here's the minimum requirement if we're going to go up to a true. All right, so here, this is a good example. I always like to show you this, how the negative 100 will be right on top of the 1618. Well, if this is going to go all the way up here, well, how are we going to get there? Right? That's the question. So this would need one hell of a kick. So if we're going to come down here and go, right? So you'd have, well, let's think about that. So if we look here, how are we looking on this one here? So one from this 2 down here. Well, let me pull it over here so you can see it. So here's the window where you're anticipating the third, right? So right there, and that seems to be where we've run into the resistance. So you have a nice looking Elliott count here on both degrees. So 1, 2, and then if that's going to go to this third, we've got to have an impulsive structure there. So far we're following the Elliott playbook and the algos as well. Although we did go deep here, right? So this was a very deep push. So they were challenging this low and gets defended, they push it out of there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This now certainly it's possible that the 4 could be in here. Although as I dig into that, I'm going to go down to the 15-minute. Looks more to me like this could just be our A wave. So you see how we have this 5-wave structure here and 3 waves here. So if I open that, let's do it this way. If I open that up, let's come down here a bit. Bring this down a bit here, open it up. Right, so certainly one possibility is that we've done this. That this is, boy, that's ugly. 1, 8, 2, 3, 4. Let's check it now. So that's a possibility that we've got the A wave going in here. This 3-wave B. It's not bad, but look how deep we've gone. If that's going to be a B. Now look at that, 786 to the tick. Right, that's sort of last stand where you're anticipating a B. Now let's just see how this was here. Well, so So this is where you'd look for, ideally you'd catch it at the 50. We had extra legs on this. Ideally you'd look for, so we have the potential for a diagonal here. Let me check this here just real quick. So if we take the length of the 1 and project from the 2, we can see that we made the 272 very, very common in a diagonal as a target for the 3rd. Right, we don't often get the deeper push. So the 1272 square root of 1618, very common for that 3rd leg. Now, but we went far on this. So we have a candidate here. I'm trying to this. Yeah, I prefer this count. I don't like this as much as ABC. This looks like, well, even that is a little bit tough because that looks more like you've got 5 in that. So I don't love this. So I would defer to. So this is a bit of a tell here. Now, if this were going to come down, if that's ABC into that B, if we're going to hold that 3-wave structure, and this is the 786, if this count's going to hold as I have it here, you would not want to see this pivot taken out. All right, so with any luck here, we're going to go ABC looking like this. So we're going to come down here, leading diagonal, skinny little ABC into the 2, and then we'd be pushing down here, something like that, to finish the ABC. So let's pull back out and see if we can construct that. Oh, I might, you're kind of fat for a channel there because you went so deep, but that's a contender down here. All right, A, B, C, that looks like you might have some swing dynamics here in terms of fib relationships that could play. So, okay, so this is perfect, right? So look at that. So that's what we look for. That's the first place you're looking for is the 100. So if we're going to hold here, if I can get this over here. So here's our candidate for a 4, candidate for our C. So we get this very nice confluence zone over here, right? So again, making the assumption we're coming down here. So look at this confluence here. So we have 100% the length of the A projected from the proposed B, right? We don't know until we start to come down here. That would be 100%. Here's the 38, right? Here, this gray line here is the 38 from the swing low. And then we've got the lower parallel of the medians line. So let me pull out here so I can put this back together. All right, so let me just double check this. Okay, so here, so that was what we were doing in terms of the 3rd. Now let's look for that 4th. So if we're going to stay in an impulse, which we need to do, all right, so now we get nice fat confluence zone here. So that is textbook of pretty much everything I teach you right there. That's the whole ball of wax. All that's placeholder. Look at all of the confluence that we have here. Okay, so we have an algo trade here that has already hit target and potentially teed up for second. We have a golden corner pocket, right? See it? Golden corner pocket has not yet gotten to target. Remember the trading principle here of Andrew's trading principle number 1. If these 3 pivots hold, we have an 80% probability of making the median line. As I will remind you, and I often do here every time I can get the chance, is that's the best odds in trading. The single best odd. There is no place, no trade, no pattern that you can set up that has better odds than that, right? And just to boot, you get a golden, right? So it goes right to target. Now, it did get challenged here. No doubt it gets challenged. But yeah, so we sit now unresolved here in terms of making the median line, but the algo trade from this corner pocket has already hit target. Now, if we're going to keep going, so now thinking about where the next trade opportunity is. So I'd be a buyer right here. In fact, this is a trade that I will take. So if we come down here, so you've got confluence, you've got pattern, you've got inter-pattern fib relationships that would be relative to an Elliott count in terms of where you'd be looking for it. So that's thus the 100, the length of the A projected from the B. So perfect AB equals C. 34, and to boot, right, just keeping it simple, we've got the wave 1 high here. So prior resistance offering some support. And it looks like the Vegas wave will play in there as well. If this is going to take its time to get down here, the 233 likely curve right over. So that is an absolute must-take trade. Right, so for all my members that are watching this, right, assuming you've now diversified into FX and you can trade the XAU USD as a CFD, that is a must-take trade. That doesn't mean it's going to be a winner. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's a must take. Now we can be tighter on the stop here because this has to be an impulse. So if we've got this right, if the Elliott count is right of 1, 2, and we're going up for the 3, this must be an impulse here in green. So overlap of the 1 invalidates this count. So thus the stop just below the 1. So that gives you just the algo target here. There's 4 to 1. If you're going to go all the way up to this bigger target, it's almost 7 to 1, right? If we get the full 618, it's over 7 to 1, right? So there is the trade right there. So look what that would do. That would complete the count. Now that's going to be. Let's just do a quick measure of what that would look. That would require us measuring the full length. My guess is, let's take the 1 and project from the 4 if we get that. So to get up, we'd need 200%. This 1618, you're getting up there in terms of an extension for the 5th. So let's also check this. Let's check the 1 through the 3rd. Projected from the 4th, and look what we get here, 100%. So do you see what I just did there? I just took the swing low here, right, the proposed 2 low of our golden corner pocket. I'm taking the distance from the start of the wave 1 through the pivot of the proposed wave 3 and projecting from what we're proposing as the area of interest for a wave 4. So for that to go up and get all the way to this median line to realize the potential of the golden corner pocket, remember 80% that we get there. So that sets up a little over 7 to 1 trade. That there's, again, as I will often say, why would you not take that trade? Right? Very reasonable risk. You've got literally everything I teach into one trade right there. What else could we use? Well, we could use, so the oscillator, Elliott oscillator already to 0, so we're going to need that to come down again. Right here, let's see, was this any help here? No, not terribly here. So 1, 2, 3. So looks like this is our peak here. Well, yeah, here we go. Here's a good example of divergence. So do you see how we have higher prices? Let me use this. We have higher prices here. Let's fatten that up. Oh, fuck, doesn't matter. Okay, here, let's come down here. All right, so we see this. Right, do you see how we have, right here, here's the peak, then we go up for that wave 3, but look how the RSI diverges, right? You can see it here on the Elliott oscillator as well. So you have classic divergence. Higher prices, but unconfirmed. You have a divergence in the oscillator. Down we start, what I'm proposing is the A wave. All right, so we'd be on the edge of, it's roughly 1 standard deviation from the volume profile. You can see point of control right smack dab in the middle here, which doesn't, right, so you can always just do this. Just say, well, what's going on with that point of control? You can see where all that range is coming from. So a lot of market acceptance here. So you note here, we'd be just on the edge of that, right, from this wave 1, right? So perfect potential support. You got to take that trade. That's got to take it, right? So with that kind of risk reward, again, why would you not take that? Literally every component. If you're not a member already, if you're a member, the only reason you're not taking that is because you haven't set up your FX account yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not taking that trade, I don't know what you're doing watching my videos here. That's an absolute must-take trade. Must take it, right? It doesn't mean I'm not guaranteeing that's a winner. I'm just saying you don't get a setup any better than that. Now, again, a lot has to happen. We've got to get this thing to come down to set it up, right? It may not, for all we know. It's going to go straight up here. It's going to realize this potential here of getting that median line right here. Now, what's the alternate? What if it fails? What if we just break down? Well, it's implied, actually, as we sit here looking at it right now. So trading principle number 4 from Andrews is a failure, right? A failure to realize that 80% probability. If we fall and we start to break down, it sets up trading principle number 4, which is a move equal to or greater than the swing that failed to make the median line, right? So if we look at that, if this is going to be our failure, this actually would sit right here, equal to or greater than the swing that failed, which would put us all the way back down here at this wave 2 low. Right, so thus, if we're going to come down here and test the parallel here, and we're going to break, We break this 1. Well, now we no longer have an impulse, right? So the count starts to break down, right? So there's absolutely no reason to be carrying that down. All right, so, but what we're after here is this, right there. Right, so that'd be hitting second target. We've got the 100% here, and we got the 1618, which would be a perfect wave 3. And if you catch that, if I can get this over here, all that does is set up the 4. So you can see the roadmap getting put together here. 4 into the 5 going up again. Right, so this if this is realized, this would also be a must-take trade. Right, so you see how the geometry is framing the market? Yeah, we got through here. Yep. I said this is not uncommon to have a parallel that will run. So if I push this up a little bit like that, that's very, very common. If you're going to break, here, as we did here when they challenged that low, this is a test of the low. They're testing the low. They want to break it, take it lower. They can't, right? Algo defense. They defend, take it up. Up we go. So we've got a nice clean 3 wave. All right, so we open this up yet again, just take a better look at it. So if this holds, so this would be a key level. Right? If we get up here, if we come back up again and break this, the count starts to break down. Then maybe well, that would surprise me. All right, this looks. So what's the probable path right now? Probable path would be down here to this support area. That's the probable path. All right, that's what we try to do. Trade the probable, not the possible, because it is certainly possible that this thing turns around and just keeps going. This is more probable, right? So probably a little late on the short sell there, so I wouldn't necessarily be an advocate of selling this right now, but it sure does tee up the buy here for the 4. All right, guys, that's all I've got right now. As a reminder, all right, you can always learn more about what we're doing. So good things to do. You can always follow us on Twitter. We're very active with our Twitter followers there. And keep in mind, we've got the free Discord. If you want to come over and just kind of put a toe in the water and interact with some of my trading coaches, we call them senseis. You can always come to the free Discord. Just you'll have a lot of like-minded traders over there. So that's often people will start there, interact with us a little bit, and then if they like what they see and they like what they're seeing over there, that of course, free Discord, you're not going to have access to all the content, but you'll get access to some of it, and you can engage with some other traders there as well. So that's something to consider, and you can find that link right on our Twitter feed. I think it's pinned at the very top. All right, guys, that's it for now. I've got one more. I'll be back later with one other.